Hello everyone and welcome back again. Now in this lesson we're gonna continue and work on our custom array adapter here. So I'm gonna because the array adapter or array adapters in general is needed for our user interface, so that's why I'm gonna have a new package. In fact, I'm gonna make it as a sub package for for this config guide activity. So that's why I'm going to right click directly on the package, new, another package. I'm going to just add their dot, and I'm going to just put here presentation, which is going to be containing my presentation logic. And right here I'm going to create new class student adapter, and I'm going to or let it be student item adapter, why not? So I'm gonna just simply say finish, and right here we're gonna put in our basic building blocks for our adapter. Now before I get started, let's there's something very important I would love to actually show you, which is regarding documentation. Basically, an array adapter is just simple a list of arbitrary objects. However, it actually hunts for a text view all the time by default. Okay, so basically, if you don't have a reference directly to a text view, right now you're gonna have to, by your hand, start reassigning and modifying how your arrays are addressed, or how every item is going to be fit into each part of your item, because your item could consist of multiple items right there. Okay, so let's get started. And right here in the student adapter, I'm gonna inherit from array adapter, and since this is gonna be generic, oh really, array, hang on a sec. Okay, extends array adapter, and right here it's going to extend an array adapter of a student. So Control Shift O for that, right there, and Control 1. And right now we're going to have to add one of the constructors, which is going to take a context, a text view ID, and an array. So let me extend this to see what I'm trying to grab here. So exactly, so this is what I need: a context, an integer, and a list of students. I'm gonna hit enter, and right now I'm gonna just have one more private array list of student objects, and I'm gonna have here this dot objects equals to objects. So basically, just to get this all the time, and Control Shift O for importing the array list part, and objects is this object. Oh yes, and it is in fact, because it's a list, I'm gonna have to cast this to list of student. Oh, sorry, array list. You can do this that way, or just simply just rename this to array list, and it will work just fine. So both ways are fine. So right now we need to add unimplemented methods, or in fact add the overrides. Public view, and it returns in fact a view, get view, and right here the get view function, it takes an integer position, it takes a view, I'm gonna call this convert view, and it takes a view group, view, or let it be parent, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna put this right there. I'm gonna hit Control Shift O to import, to organize the imports, and I'm just gonna hit return null for now. Now the getView function is in fact called in somewhat a loop. So for every item you have in your list of, for example, when I get the JSON response and convert it into a list of students and then send it back to this array adapter, what will happen is it will loop over every student, and this function will be in fact executed. So for every student in the array, its position in the array will be determined from here. So the 0th position is going to be the student, first student in the array. The first position is going to be the second student in the array, and so on and so forth. And this, in fact, this function gets called by the system, so you will not in fact call it. So everything just happens for you automatically. The only thing here is that you have to determine, or you have just to set up the class's template, let's say, and just the system will take over and create everything for you. So first of all, let's check if our view is not null. So if our convert view, which we are passing, equals null, it should be, I think, doesn't equal null, but we'll see. Layout inflator, and layout inflator is a simple. You can think of it as the layout renderer. This you can think of it like this is the render engine which grabs your items and render them on your screen. So we're gonna need to grab that renderer context. So layout inflator get context dot get system service of a context dot layout inflator service. So right now we have got in our hands the let's say the context renderer, let's say, for example. I'm just trying to use the closest terms here, so you can, I mean loose terms here, so you can just picture the process. Right now convert view equals to inflator.inflate, and right here I'm gonna inflate with resource r.layout. And there are two layouts here, as you can see here. Android R, which is the Android built-in stuff, you don't use that. You use your own com.figguide.activities.car, which is the one which is automatically generated for you, which is right there. Okay. Now dot, and I'm gonna grab my std item. This is what the whole view is going to be rendered into. So every item is going to be rendered right inside this. So for example, the student name, if you have an index would like to display as well on the same item, this, whatever you're going to do, is going to be displayed inside that item, or inside that layout which we have already specified in the last lesson. So and here for the root, I'm just going to specify null. I'm just going to leave it as null, and let's move forward. Now I'm going to grab the student std equals to this.objects dot get at a certain position, which is going to be already run by the system. So we're going to grab for every student, if the std is not null, then we're going to do the following operations. First of all, we need to get the text view, which we have. And I'm gonna call this just title, for example, or name, or whatever you can call it. So, or std name equals to text view, and then here convert view dot find view by id. You see, because this is going to be sent out by the system again, and right here I'm going to have the r.id dot, and I think we have it as std or list students. I think let me have a look at the layout here, because if we don't have it, I'm just gonna give it a new one. Nope, it doesn't have it. So let me go over here and say Android. Now I need to figure out, I need to remember how this, yeah, there you go, ID. So I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna simply say ID equals to, I think, plus add, oh, I can copy it just from there, right here. plus add slash, and right here I'm going to just simply say title, so it's the title of the student, or let be t, smaller t, and let's see here. Oh yeah, this is because I have to specify a selectable text or not, but I will just leave it right now there. And right here I'm gonna take out the insert, and I've grabbed the title, so we are good to go. Now I'm gonna just simply Ctrl-Shift-O as well, just to organize the imports. And I will say here, the if title doesn't equal to null, right here I'm gonna simply say title, or sorry, it's in fact std name. If the std name doesn't equal null, then we're gonna say std name dot set text, and I'm gonna say std dot get name, semicolon. Once we are done with this operation, we're just gonna simply say return convert view, like this. Basically, this is the end of it. This is what we had to do for the student. Now I'm gonna go over here into my secondary activity, and instead of using this whole loop thing, I'm gonna start using my own methods here, which I'm gonna use my own array adapter here. So let me start seeing where I could comment this. Well, I'm gonna actually start from here, and I will comment later on what I don't need. So I'm gonna create an array list, or actually the array list of students is right there for me. That loop, for loop, I don't need it, let it be so. And let's see here, I'm gonna create completely at the top array adapter of actually student item adapter std adapter, and equals to new. Oh well, you know what, let me keep it here, and I'll just simply push it right there, right after the std item. So std adapter equals to new student array adapter, and right here I'm gonna pass in this, and I'm gonna pass in my resource, which is gonna be std actually r dot layout dot std item, and oh, actually I should have sorry about that. Actually, I should have passed it right here, because I'm recreating it here again, because I'm gonna have to pass in std list. There you go. Oh, and in fact, because I'm passing in a list as a parameter, I'm gonna have to cast it into a list of a student. Now the problem is, this is quite inefficient, I have to say. And this, by the way, get application context. I don't like the idea of casting back and forth. So what I'm gonna do here is, let me have a look here what I can, how can I avoid this? So I could pass here in an array list of student and just keep it that way, because anyway it will work. I don't need this anymore. So let's see, array list, and I don't need to cast here anymore. There you go. So it should work now. And instead of the strings, I'm gonna just simply pass in, actually I don't need this anymore. I just simply say, here's the array adapter, you do the whole rendering. So this is it. So this whole bunch of line of code, like 5 or 6 lines of code, right now we reduced them to only 3, which is really, really good. And we're gonna leave this here. However, okay, I'm gonna leave this as well. So let's see what's gonna happen when we run this. And let me maximize this and clear this out. And there you go, it works. So as you can see here, if I click on an item, you see, it sends me the object itself. See? Here's another object. Here's another object. Now this is because we are actually taking a whole object and we are converting it into a string. And if you want to do that, if you would like to get normal object in your hand, you're just gonna need to cast whatever item you get at that certain position. So we're gonna have a student cast it there according to that thing, and in fact I'm gonna surround this whole thing around by bracket or parentheses, if you will, and here I'm gonna simply say get index. So instead of getting a name, or yeah, I will leave it that way, dot to string, of course, or because an index is an integer. Well, let's see if it will work. I think it should crash, but if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna simply say, you know, student string dot value of. Yep, it crashed. Okay, let me put this right there. String dot value of, and put this all into one big gigantic bracket, and we are good to go. Run this, waiting for it, and there we go. So here's the index number for Mohammed, for Adam, for Amir, for Adil. So it works just fine right now. And if you want to, you could just simply start playing with this. You can add, you can start, you know, grabbing the value which you have from the list which you are picking up, and you're gonna have a whole object in your hand just to send it or forward it or reuse it back again, instead of using just primitive types. Right now it's fully object oriented and it's quite easy to manage. All right, so I think this is it for the purpose of this lesson, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and see you in the next lessons.